You've seen the quick build-up of this flat pack pedestal. I'm going to take you through all the steps and show you how simple and easy it is to do. Start off by opening up the box, removing all the panels, and find the instruction manual so you can identify which panel is which. When you're laying out your panels, it's a good idea to use a soft, smooth surface to prevent any damage or scratches to the panels whilst you're assembling. Once you've got all your panels out of the box, it's a good idea to familiarize yourself with each panel and relay them out according to their assembly. That way you're less likely to make any mistakes. So straight away I can see the top panel is going to be a panel with color on both sides, but it's going to have plastic inserts on the underside. Then the bottom panel is the same size, but you'll see it's got holes all the way through on both sides. That way it's definitely going to be the bottom panel, and I know the front edge is going to be this front edge here because the back edge won't have the coloring on it. I can see this smaller square piece is going to be my shelf unit, and I've got a front side and a back side. The back side is not covered, the front side is covered, and then the side shows all the positions for the pegs. These side panels, I've got two panels which are symmetrical. Which side is left, which side is right? Well, an easy way to identify that is by the two holes at the back edge. And also an easy indicator is no cover strip on the back, cover strip on the front. Now it's time to open up the hardware and organize all the components. We sorted all our hardware. We've got our 38mm director screws, our dowels, our cam locks, our cam screws, 16mm screws for our hinges, and our panel pin nails. Before we start assembling our panels, we need to start prepping our boards. We're going to start off by inserting our dowel sticks into panel number 3, which is our back rail. We've got our shelf, and we've got our two side panels. Very simple. Look for the large hole on the panel, pop in one dowel on either end. Start on the next one, the shelf, the two middle holes, pop in a dowel in each hole. Exactly the same on the other side. As for our side panels, again, two dowels on the inner holes and two on the top. Next, pop in the 4 cam locks. Now, it's important that the little pointer at the top of the cam lock points towards the opening inside the cavity. So as you can see, the opening is at the top here. Pop in the cam lock into position. As you pop in the cam lock, if it's slightly off, you can just use a screwdriver to realign it. Make sure it's in the upward position, pointing towards the hole that you have on the top. The next step is to take in our cam screws and screw these into the plastic inserts on the top panel. If it is a bit tight, just nip it up with a screwdriver. Just make sure you don't over tighten, as it will strip the thread in the plastic insert. Next, we're going to start off by fixing our legs to the underside of the first panel. We're going to line it up to the two holes, and using the director screws and the Allen key, we're just going to screw those into position. The underside of the base is the side which doesn't have the holes for the dowel sticks. 2 director screws per leg. Okay, our legs are on. It's time to start assembling the side panels. Now, normally you start building it up from the bottom all the way up. I actually find it easier just to pop it on its side. Take the first panel, line up the pegs, and pop it into place. That way it stands on its own and it keeps my hands free and it's easier to work. Take the director screws, one at the top and one at the bottom. Okay, the one side is on. Now before you put the other side on, we need to pop in the top rail and the shelf into position. Line the top rail up with the top hole, and that peg will hold it in position. And the shelf, remember, keep that cover strip on the outside. Line it up, and you can quickly secure that side with the director screws. Now we're going to pop in the other side panel, line up the dowels with the holes, and we're going to secure that with the director screws. Right, that's our structure complete. All we need to do now is put our top piece on. Remember, the uncovered section is going to go to the back and the cover strip on the front. Line that up to the holes for the cam screws. Bit of a jiggle. We'll line up with the wooden pegs as well. gentle tap. Now we need to tighten the cam locks. As we turn them around about half a turn, you'll feel it pull down tight onto the cam screw, securing that top to the rest of the structure. Our structure is complete. I'm going to roll that down flat. And then we're going to secure our back panel. Remember, white side on the inside, unpainted side on the outside. Just square it up, and then we're going to secure it with some panel pins and a hammer. When hammering in your nail, make sure you get the nail in the center of the timber. Too close to the edge is going to cause it to burst out, and you're going to cause damage to that surface edge there. Right, the last section now is to add the door. First thing we need to do is pop in the hinges. Take the hinge and insert it into the recess of the door. Line it up to the screw holes, and then just fasten down those screws. So now it's time to attach the door to the structure. Now you'll see they've put little holes already for the hinges, and they've actually put it on both sides because this door is symmetrical. So you can put it onto this side, or you can turn it over and put it on this side. It's entirely up to you to suit your bedroom. I like to take the cabinet, pop it on its side, take the door, put a little spacer on the underside there, and then just line it up according to those holes. That way the door is supported, my hands are free, and it's much easier to install. Before you completely secure those screws, just slide the door up so that you have enough clearance at the bottom so it doesn't rub on the bottom edge as you open and close. Once you've got your door mounted to your cabinet, it's now time to do some fine tuning and alignment of the hinges. You'll see on each hinge you have 2 screws. The outside screw brings the door away from the cabinet. The inside screw adjusts the orientation by moving it backwards and forwards on each corner. Now as I close this door, you can see I've got quite an uneven gap here, so I need to realign that and just adjust the hinge to accommodate these gaps. So I'll take this hinge, push that one back just by unscrewing here. As I unscrew, I'll just double check the securing nut. That takes the top section back, and if I screw this one in, it takes the bottom section towards me. Okay, that's my door aligned. I just need to cover up these cam locks. We'll use these little stickers. Make sure that the grain lines match in the same direction as the grain line on the timber. There you go, this cabinet is complete, a flat pack assembly done in minutes, next to no time. Simple and easy for anybody to do. If you enjoyed this clip, like it, share it. You can also subscribe to the Builders Fan YouTube channel. There's a range of DIYs and how-tos just like this for you to be inspired, get to builders, and get it done.